You're watching ABC 36 on your side. Good Morning Kentucky with Lee Cruz and Haley Harmon.
Welcome back. You know what time it is. Time for Motorsports Monday. NASCAR returned to the Midwest on Sunday with a trip to the St. Louis area. The Cup Series returned to Worldwide Technology Raceway for the second year in a row. This one had a red flag 5 laps into the race thanks to multiple lightning delays. Ended up lasting a total of 1 hour and 45 minutes. Kyle Busch, who started on the pole, was able to regain the lead following delay and win stage 1. On to stage 2 now. It wasn't just Kyle Busch leading laps in this one. Last week's winner, Ryan Blaney, took over control in stage 2. Blaney was able to hold off Busch to win the second stage. This race really came down to these two drivers who led the most laps between the two of them, combined to lead the most laps in this one. One of the major headlines of this race was brake rotors. 4 total brake failures took place in this race, including this one from Noah Gragson. This caused another red flag due to the safer barrier needing replacement. Gragson was shaken up a bit in this wreck, but was treated and released from the Infield Care Center and said in an interview during the broadcast that he lost his breath thanks to that hard hit. It wasn't just the final brake rotor failure in this one. More on that in just a bit. Allow this race later on with only 300 miles. The race took Although this race is only 300 miles, the race took what felt like forever thanks to so many accidents, including this one in the final stage between Austin Dillon and Ricky Stenhouse. Dillon was not happy with Penske driver Austin Cindric after this one. This wreck also required yet another red flag to take care of the safer barrier. Later on now, with seemingly Kyle Busch cruising to victory, Bubba Wallace had another brake rotor failure, but Kyle Busch was able to cruise to victory in this one. This would set up Kyle Busch's third win of the season, and Kyle Busch also picking up the third win of the year. That ties William Byron for the most so far this season. He was able to hold off Denny Hamlin. Let's take a look now at the final standings from the final results from this race. Kyle Busch finished first, Denny Hamlin second, Joey Logano third, Kyle Larson fourth, and Martin Truex Jr. finished fifth. Denny Hamlin ran in the top 5 all day long, finished second. Joey Logano, who won this race last year, finished third, and Larson struggled early on, but thanks to some pit strategy at the end, he came in fourth. The Cup Series heads to Sonoma next week before a much-needed week off. Now to IndyCar. IndyCar took on the streets of Detroit for the first time in a long time. After a fantastic Indy 500 last week in the Detroit Grand Prix, Alex Palou dominated this one. He led nearly wire to wire throughout the race. IndyCar's returned to the streets of downtown Detroit after 32 years of racing at Belle Isle. A late race restart bunched up the field, but Palou was able to hold off several hard chargers late in this one. The Spaniard IndyCar star Palou was already leading the points, so this win just extended his points lead. It was really an exciting race. It kind of timed out well with the NASCAR red flag. You're able to see this final race there. Notice how narrow the track is. Pretty entertaining race there on the streets of Detroit. Here's a look at the final top 5 from this one. Will Power came in second. He led 14 laps in this one, which was second most behind Palou, who led a race high 74. Felix Rosenquist, Scott Dixon, and Alexander Rossi rounded out the top 5. IndyCar has a week off before heading to Road America on Father's Day weekend. Formula One also raced yesterday, and this was the Spanish Grand Prix. And what do you know? Red Bull dominated once again. Max Verstappen was able to win this race, followed by Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Sergio Perez, and Carlos Sainz Jr. Formula One has just been dominated so far this year by Max Verstappen. He has won the last 3 races of the season after winning last week at Monaco. He had a dominating victory there once again in this Spanish Grand Prix.
Lewis Hamilton's always in the top 5.
He is, but he's really struggled this year. Mercedes has kind of struggled. But IndyCar, I want to take a note of this here. Didn't include this in my broadcast, but the Indy 500, the top 4 television markets for that were all surrounding us here in Lexington.
Yeah.
So it's pretty popular in this area of the country. So those IndyCar fans, we'll make sure to get those highlights in every week for you.
Definitely. We hope you're enjoying our new Motorsports Monday segment with Dylan, the biggest fan there is. Stay with us, everybody. 6:52. Final look at your forecast with Dylan. His other job is coming up for you in just a second. We're back.